Hi, guys. Hello out there, internet world. Welcome to our What's Your Color? I'm so grateful that Julie went along with my very last minute, like talking today last minute, like, hey, let's do this. Let's go on and just chat with people, So, hi, Julie.
Hi, Selena. I know, right? So it's like, okay, we can do that.
Yeah. So if you don't know, Julie Moser is the founder and executive director of our organization that's up there, Pink Wear Angels of Texas. I'm Selena, director of marketing. And the reason why we wanted to chit chat with everybody today was because it's St. Patrick's Day and there's supposed to be luck in the air. And Julie and I were like, Julie, let's do this. Okay, here's my green. Hi, guys. If you're watching in the comments, could you just share with Julie and I what green? Are you wearing green?
Are you wearing green today?
Yeah.
Are you wearing green today?
Yeah. So Julie kind of when we first kind of connected on FaceTime before we jumped on, like her eyes are like beautiful. I can't do eyeshadows to save my life, but she's got like green going on, Oh, look, green in my coffee mug. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So, okay. So anyway, I was like, Julie, we should let's give something away today. Like, let's just for fun. And Julie's like, yeah. So I'm going to let Julie tell you what crazy.
Yes. Who doesn't like free stuff? I am found a few things that we have that are amazing products. Okay, first off is our pen. And as simple as a pen is, we all love pens. And this is an amazing pen, this brand. I don't even know what brand it is, but we have our infamous pink pen.
Yeah.
That writes black for anybody who needs to know that. Apparently that is a question. And then a pop socket. So if you don't have a pop socket, what this is it connects to your phone. And when it connects to your phone, mine's upside down, you can hold on to it because life is easier that way.
Yeah.
And Operation Deploy Your Dress allowed us to be part of their fundraiser, and I got an extra one.
Hey, ta-da!
So another great thing that we have is our hat. Oops, go this way. And this is a dark charcoal hat. It's from Port Authority, and it can be sizable for anybody. Good for male or females, bindi bib, flat bib, however you want to do that. So you'll get that. And you will also get one of our Hope shirts, and this is a new color for us.
Mm-hmm.
And so while it's simple and it says Hope, I mean, it's powerful, just hope.
Mm-hmm.
On the back of the shirt is our logo.
Yay.
The tribal arrows are symbolic for, going forward and doing great things with your tribe. Last but not least is a $15 gift card from our friends over at Texas Roadhouse in Killeen, and it can be used at any Texas Roadhouse nationwide. So no worries there. They have been partnering with us for a couple years now, and when they do their fundraisers, they return in gift cards. So we have this giveaway as well too. So it'll definitely buy you a steak.
Yeah.
Glass of water.
Yes, and we like Texas. We love Texas Roadhouse.
I love Texas Roadhouse. I know my husband's like, let's go to Texas Roadhouse. I'm like, no, we have to eat corned beef and cabbage today.
Yeah.
Today is our traditional green corned beef and cabbage day.
That's what I got going on my Instapot right now. So it smells really good. I'm praying that I did it right. You know what I mean? I was kind of upset. The ingredients called for one can of Guinness beer, and I didn't have it, and I failed that part, but it's okay. It's okay.
It's gonna be okay. And I've done it with and without the beer.
Yeah.
And if anything, it just changes the tenderizes a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a carbonation thing, honestly. But either way. Every year, faithfully.
Right. Right.
Black eyed peas. But so I'm excited.
Oh.
Hi, Coco.
Yeah, there's my dog. Always part of the thing. Okay.
On. It's okay.
Yes. Okay, Julie and I were talking about how do we give this away? What do you have to do? And I think we were saying, just tell us in the comment here. So what's your color? You know what I mean? And when we ask you that question, it's just what cancer ribbon, what cancer, what color have you associated, a cancer diagnosis with in your life? And, the difference between Julie and I is I am a child of a person that has cancer, and Julie is one that has cancer. And so I think it's super important. I was chatting with somebody the other day and I said, yeah, we came up with this, what's your color? Because we felt it was an easier way to really start the conversation. Because full transparency, Julie is very transparent. She always tries to make sure and encourages the conversation. And I think that's what I love the most, is that she makes it okay in her space to talk about it, to ask questions that maybe you don't think is okay to talk about. And so I wanted to make sure, right? I mean, so all you have to do, we're going to leave it open for maybe Friday, right, Julie? Why not? Let's have everybody. But drop down in the comments for Julie and I and just tell us, what's your color? What cancer is part of your deal?
Yeah, what cancer ribbon resonates with you? Because 9 times out of 10, you will know somebody who's had cancer, or somebody in your family, your grandma, your aunt, somebody, that, with me, it started with me.
Right.
And as we started Pink Warrior Angels of Texas and growing and meeting other people, like Selena's color is white for lung cancer, mine is pink. I know for my daughter, for example, while her color is pink for me, her color is also blue for her band director that passed from colon cancer. So she'll actually wear a pink and blue ribbon when she does any walks to remember him by as well, too. So, what is your color? What is your color that, besides green today,
right.
color that you hone in with? We're just trying to start a conversation, have a place that we can have that conversation, because it's so taboo sometimes to not want to talk about cancer and not talk about it, doesn't exist. But as you have seen in several posts recently, is I'm very transparent and it's important. And the one not so nice message I got was, why would you do that? And does your husband know? Yes, my husband does know, and it doesn't matter because it's my body. And 2, it's important because with breast cancer, there's that stigma of, well, you get a boob job at least, it's not a boob job. Breast augmentation is completely different than reconstruction of breasts that you don't have. And so that's important for me to get that message out there, because even me, I expected my reconstruction to be much different. Now I'm just flat. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the conversations. Are you going through cancer? What are some of your hiccups that you're running through? For me, it's a mental thing right now. Started radiation yesterday. I just finished one an hour ago. So that's number 2 out of 30, and mentally I am in my own head, and it doesn't hurt. I'm in and out. And so I think just mentally, just laying there, knowing that this is what this machine is doing because there was cancer cells in my body, mentally exhausting. Because I feel fine, I look fine. Otherwise, sometimes if the burn type skin thing won't happen until later, and then, I gotta stay out of the sun and those types of things, but I look okay.
Yeah.
But I'm not okay. And it's okay to acknowledge that, especially as a military spouse, we have so many other things that we're dealing with too. So some are in the middle of a move. Some people are, trying to deal with a new duty station, or their spouse leaving, or there's just so many other things. And a mental aspect of it is a taboo word to talk about.
Yeah.
Important to talk about.
No, for sure. I think, like I said, I always love your honesty, because then it kind of Julie mentions that my color is white. My father passed away from lung cancer over 20 some years ago. And I kind of feel like with Julie, she gives me this open door into maybe kind of what my father went through, and the mental aspect of it that you don't think about. And this past weekend, I was just strolling through to find movies to watch. And I don't know if anybody, or Julie, if you even seen it, but it's a new movie out it's called Our Friend. And oh man, I have never cried so hard, but it's a movie about a
Is it on
friendship.
Netflix or
No, I think it's on Prime. You do have to pay for it because it's kind of new, but it's called Our Friend, and it's based off a true article that was written by a man whose wife got ovarian cancer, I believe, and just the history of it. But the a quick little synopsis is that the story is about the friend that comes to help them during that hard time and what that looked like. But there was so much in the movie that I was just like, you know what I mean? But there was very many perspectives. The caregiver, the person that has the cancer, an outside person that's just trying to help. And so it was really interesting to watch the movie and kind of see like all the different things. But
all the different
yeah,
perspectives? Because
yeah.
it wasn't until 2 years after my first diagnosis that I even considered and thought the process of what my husband was going through or my
Mhm.
kids,
Yeah,
those survivors,
right.
and their trauma and their triggers and their stress. And then the friend that ultimately left me because she didn't know how to handle and deal with it.
Yeah.
So it's a tough situation that needs to be chatted about.
Yeah.
And
That is actually, Julie, one of the scenes in the movie. It talks about, and I just remember you saying that, like how you do. And I was like, I don't, but the movie just really like, I have friends and they're all going to say it shows the beginning part. And then there's this part where it's just like, everybody doesn't know what to do. So they just don't come around anymore.
yeah, because if we don't know and then we don't talk about it, then it's going to be okay. But if
Yeah.
we talk about it and we're upset about it, then we have to deal with those feelings and those emotions.
Yeah.
And as my therapist says, while we have to work through those crazy emotions that we're having, whether we're the person going through it or the person supporting us or the friend, that
Yeah.
it is okay to not be okay.
Mm-hmm.
To acknowledge that it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
How scary it is, but
Right.
about it.
Yeah. No, and I think that's like kind of where I lead in, right? Is like, you're now, been re-diagnosed and you're going through this a second time, and the struggles of running a nonprofit, also still being a mom, and a wife and a friend and all the things, and trying to do this like, oh, Bob's color is pink. Thanks, Bob.
Yeah.
That's her baby daddy. She loves him so much.
My
He's
baby.
pretty, yeah. But like, what would you say like the second time around? I guess this question, I think I was talking to Julie. I'm like, we need to have this like often where we just come on and chat, and we'd love to, encourage people to join us like, every month and just kind of be part of a conversation about this. But like, Julie, what would you say like the second time around? How has this been for you?
Well, and so being a breast cancer diagnosis may be different from somebody who has cancer, colon cancer or kidney cancer or something. If their reoccurrence happens, every different cancer has a different reoccurrence rate. For me in the breast cancer world is scary because usually when there's a reoccurrence, it's metastatic. Right now, as of today, it was only localized and not being not. Oh my gosh, this guy. Go.
Yeah, right. Like, okay, so fun.
That's the other thing. Make sure to have good, strong passwords. It's been crazy on social media.
Yeah, apparently he likes.
I waited for them to tell me I was stage 4 metastatic. And it wasn't. And I was kind of like, are you sure? But I have a scan in 3 months, and then I'll be like, are you sure again? And because it could change at any moment. So a second time around is living that fear that we have. And 7 years later, I was moving out of that mental state.
Yeah.
And here we are. I had someone asking me today.
Yeah.
Well, if you did chemo and you had a double mastectomy and you did all that 7 years ago, why did it come back? I don't know why it comes back. Some cancer cells that were left behind just started mutating. And unfortunately, that's just what happens. But I know metastatic people that have lived longer than 10 years, which is stereotypically is 5 to 7 years. lifespan. I know many that are well past that are even
Mm-hmm.
15 and 20 years that are still metastatic and they're dormant. And that's okay. They're in
Yeah.
remission and it's great. So it's not a death sentence. So I really lost my shit, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The re-diagnosis and the fear. And then until she did scans and stuff, I was like, took a sigh of relief and a little bit of a breath.
Yeah.
But all my metastatic friends that are out there, I message them all the time because I worry about their well-being, or if the cancer for confetti is gone, as Chris
Yeah.
says, to make sure that they know that we're still here for them.
Yeah.
Even so, mentally, it was hard at first. It's a little easier. I was doing better, family vacation, the whole nine thing until yesterday. And then
Mm-hmm.
while I'm lying on this bed near this machine thingy that goes around me, I'm like, oh, here we are again.
Yeah.
I can't see any laser beams, but I feel
Right.
the laser beams, per se. And psychologically felt I could feel something happening in my chest. It's not. You don't feel
Yeah.
that, but psychologically, that's what I was talking myself into. And so
Right.
here I am again.
Yeah.
And it's okay because I think so I was pretty open last time,
Mm-hmm.
but it's even more this time.
Mm-hmm.
So as I take pictures, or my kids are like, "Oh my God, Mom,
Mm-hmm.
another photo," because this is what I need to get through this, to share this journey, even while we're on vacation and having those conversations with
Yeah.
everybody. Or when we
Yeah.
were at PX yesterday,
Right.
we're at the PX. We were at the PX
Whatever.
this week to
Yeah.
get glasses. Had lunch with Bob.
Yeah.
A lady walked in with a pink shirt, so that's what caught my eye. And then
Yeah.
she didn't have hair, so that was the second thing I noticed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized she was flat chested.
Mm.
And while she could have been small breasted and no big deal, but then I looked at her and I knew that she was flat because
Yeah.
our feet looked very similar. So I went and talked to her.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask. Yeah.
I did, because you know me. I'm just
No, yeah. No, I know, but I think that's important is like, you're in that person's shoes. So I think there's a camaraderie of like a peoplehood. I don't want to even just say sisterhood because it's not just syndrome, right? But
we call it a sisterhood. It's a sisterhood that we didn't know we needed.
mm-hmm.
We also talk about our tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, it's Top.
Oh, let me pop that up there.
Yeah, we worked together in Alaska.
Oh, thanks for tuning in. Julie and I we wanted to really kind of, start getting active in talking with our community and just sharing stories about, obviously this organization is built on, Julie having back when she started this organization having cancer and then helping others. And so this is kind of like that chance where we get to talk about it and try to get people comfortable to talk about it. So if they do need help in some way, maybe talking with us encourages them to talk more openly with their children or more openly with a friend. And I think that's the goal of what Julie and I are trying to do here and the whole board. But I think, like you said, Julie, that, the thing that we chatted about earlier in text, like when she was leaving her appointment today is just, it's the mental aspect of what's going on right now for the second time and just kind of making sure, hey, but I do want to make a comment though, Julie, is I love that you do take photos because I think that's all I have left for my dad is, and I don't, and I know it's for you, but it's also just a legacy for your kids and for them to look at this way later when you've survived it all and you know what I mean, all the things, but just to kind of see your story. And we had one of our Runway of Hope models last year shared, something with us all, at an after dinner party. She did something very similar. She really documented the process and there was not a dry eye while we all watched it because we Julie understood it from the model's perspective and I understood it from the kids her children that she had in there. And so I love what you're doing, Julie, because I think that's important to take photos because sometimes and now do the videos because sometimes that's all of us kids have to hold on to.
So I literally watched maybe it was on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
So you might, do you remember Punky Brewster?
Oh yeah.
Roy Frey?
Yeah.
So she's kind of like our age, and when that's what we all grew up watching, Saved by the Bell and 90210, and all those 90s things,
Right.
because it's the best time to be
Yeah.
growing up. But she had a camcorder, which at that time was like, in the videos they were like, what is this thing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What do you mean it's recording us? It's not a big handheld
Yeah.
VCR camcorder thing like they used to have.
Yeah.
She documented her whole life and the parties and the friends and Marky Mark and all of them that were all together, and just pulled them all out the vault to make this documentary.
Oh, so cool. Yeah.
And to see what her life was and what her she had a breast reduction at a very young age because she had developed so quickly. And so even that time, back in the day, in the 90s, we didn't talk about breast reductions for little girls. We didn't talk about breast. We didn't talk about drugs and alcohol, other than you shouldn't do drugs. We had the DARE program,
Yeah.
So I really resonated with that show the other night, because I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Fast forward to today, there's cameras everywhere.
Uh-huh.
In your home, outside your home, there's camera. If there's a car accident, everybody has their phones out. If there's something, somebody has their phone out, so then it hits social media right away before the news can even get there.
Yeah.
How it's turned 360 of what it was back in the 90s. And I was like, oh my gosh. But she's so grateful she had did that, even though people fussed at her.
Yeah.
Because it helps now for the kids now.
For sure. 100%.
It does. And, before Mary Lee passed, she always said, I wish I took more pictures, even though I thought she took plenty of pictures.
Yeah.
What is your legacy? What is your legacy? Don't live it.
Yeah.
Lots of things for your kids, for memories. She wished she had more things to leave her kids, which they're fine. And did a great job for what she did.
Yeah.
So that's why I bugged the hell out of my kids.
Yeah. No, I get it. And, when you played Mary Lee's recording at the first Runway of Hope in 2019, it just hit me, like listening to her words and saying, do the more, you know what I mean? Like just encouraging, right? And for those of you that don't know, Mary Lee is a very important kind of like foundation for Julie and in creating this, and like really one of her dearest friends and an angel that came to Julie when she was diagnosed. And unfortunately, she did pass away in 2019, but we like to, we have a memorial scholarship in her name and in her honor. Julie is, remains very close with her family and was just up there. And I say it wrong because I'm not from Texas. Yes, there. She was just with them, with one of our other board members, Ellie. And I just, anyway, we love Mary Lee, and we try to honor her whenever we can. And she's very, very dear to Julie. So just in case you're like, wait, who's Mary Lee? That's who Mary Lee is in a very tiny nutshell. She's a lot more than what I just even said. But no, like Julie said, I think it's great. And, if you don't follow Julie personally on her profile, she's been really documenting her journey since she started, since she's gotten her breast implants taken out. And I mean, I've learned a lot. And so I think it's great. And I think just, I'll share this. It's like, I'm a kid, my dad, I have no audio of my father's voice, and I've not heard it in 20 some years. And so I think it's, sometimes people are like, oh, isn't it morbid where it's said? I'm like, no, it will matter at some point. You know what I mean? And so anyway, I mean, not that we want to end it, but this is a reality of cancer, right, Julie?
This is the reality. I don't see it as more of, it's kind of emotional, but I go in like Mary Lee's true words is, you've got to love as hard as you can and live your life.
Yeah.
And do all things and give when you can give.
Yeah.
It's helping somebody move or whichever.
Right.
But it is definitely, I'm excited that you brought me on, because I haven't been on live in a long time.
Yeah. No.
I have to sit back and watch everybody right now. But and that's what I need for me right now.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah. But giving away these products, have a little piece of us.
Yeah.
Have a little bit of hope.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's important. And then, so just don't forget to comment your color that resonates with you.
Yes.
The cancer ribbon. So don't
Yeah.
forget that.
Yeah. And we'll leave it up, and Julie and I will just get together on Friday and throw your names in a wheel and yeah. But it's more like I said, Julie and I and the board just kind of wanted to make sure we were like, hey, we just want to like make sure people know we really are appreciative of
For
the
sure.
support that the community gives us. Julie, like I said, she just went to what's the name of the school?
Carlton.
Yeah, because I will say it totally wrong, and we were able to be a recipient of, some funding from them, which were super, like, it helps our mission. We had another community member here in Copper's Cove, Bill French Jewelers. They, gave us a check, and we got to go down and really just say thank you. And we can't say anything other, but we, something great happened for Julie. And, it just,
Well, and
we're,
even
yeah.
Diane today, I think this morning,
Mhm.
my nights and days get mixed up so easily. She started a birthday fundraiser on Facebook.
Yeah.
And the story that she put behind it of why she wanted to do this for her birthday and raise $500
Right.
just brought me to tears.
Yeah.
And that people are seeing. And so while she's even helping us, and she may not have the $500 to give us herself, and she wants to help,
Yeah.
that she is doing a fundraiser for us. And we're
Aw.
grateful for that. Or the Girl Scouts who would do things for us, it was perfect. Hey, Jocelyn.
No, and I wanted to share this, like, behind the scenes, right? There is a lot of stress with all of us, right? And so, one of the things that I want to make sure to help Julie with is it's stressful for her because she wants to make sure we are still raising funds so we can still help people, And so I was like, yeah, you know what? We need to just make sure we come and say thank you, and tell you why things happen. And I think this is like we want to continue helping, and last year Pink Wear Angels of Texas was able to award $25,000 in financial aid, and that was a lot. We wanted to give more.
Year. Yeah, for sure. Because a lot of our things got canceled. We had just a handful of things happen.
Yeah.
And the future looks brighter for this year because hopefully we get out more public more often.
Mhm.
But it is. We're grateful for all the help or support, or even the pillows that people sew together, the fabric. Because I say that all the time. I do not sew, but even a blanket, to help to put in our chemo bags is more than you can realize. Even though it seems small and you wish you could do more, it's a lot. It really is.
No. So I know that like I said, Julie is like, she's literally the last one standing because she's like, no, I know we can do more. And she tries to figure out where we can get. And, I don't tell her enough that I appreciate that drive because I know, like, we're all volunteers. Julie has her own thing other than this. I have my own business other than, all of the board members do their job before they come into doing this. And so, it's wonderful to be part of something that where you can give back. So I hope that, like, when you're thinking of giving back, you think of Julie, you think of the Pink Wear Angels of Texas, and you say, I want to see. But if not, just, we like to chat. Come and talk story with us, and tell us how you are, how you're feling. And,
about dogs too. I mean,
yeah.
That's okay too. Disney, all things Disney. I know the science.
I know.
So
So hopefully you'll see more of us. If it's not Julie, it's me and somebody, or it's Julie and somebody, because it's something that we have talked about, and I think it'll be good just to go and chit chat. And if you're somebody and you kind of want to talk about this, like, hit up Julie or I if I know you and say, hey, I'd love to come on and let's just talk. I mean, that's kind of like, I'm gonna get rid of our banner so you can see it. Like, what's your color? We want to start a conversation because we want to make it okay to talk about it so that that you can get help somewhere. If not from us, from somewhere. So
and we can help you find it if we don't have it. That's
exactly
that I like to do. So
exactly.
For sure.
Yeah. So Julie, thank you for putting up with my 4-hour request from this morning. Like, hey, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, roll one more time. Julie is excited. She has a bunch of little swag in her office that she wants to give away just to somebody. All you have to do is comment below in the comments somewhere and just tell us what's your color.
What's your
You
color?
know?
I mean, there's a scope right here for what's your color.
That is,
and,
yes.
You know,
a pop. I was like, a pop it? No, a pop socket. Pop socket.
I didn't realize how much I love it until I had it. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, how did I ever get away with this money?
Right. Oh my gosh. Okay. We know it's St. Patrick's Day. We're going to let you all go. Me and Julie already went 15 over our 15 like timeline we gave us. She knows my gig though. I never stick with my stuff. But thank you, Julie, for letting me do this today. And like, you know, we'll do this more often, right? And connect with everybody.
Absolutely.
So thanks guys. Bye.
Bye.